What does it take to turn challenges into meaningful impacts? In 2025, itracks explored that questions in every project, client partnership, and breakthrough the team achieved. For those who might be new here, itracks is a world-leading expert in online focus groups and the patent holder for qualitative applications trusted by market research professionals and Fortune 500 companies for being reliable, flexible, and client focused. We've just wrapped up 2025, and today we're taking you inside the story of that journey. Joining me are two leaders who have been at the heart of this journey. The first guest is Bourner, Vice President at itracks, whose role is really around leading strategy, innovation, and guiding the big picture vision behind our technology and client work. Leon, do you want to say hi?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
All right, thank you. And we also have Candace Northey-Purton, who is the Director of Client Success and Operations. She always just ensures that our clients get exceptional support and that our team deliver with excellence every single day. Candace, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Leon and Candice, for joining us today. We're going to kickstart with talking about the challenges, purpose, and vision of iTracks, really, which brings me to Leon. 2025 has been about asking the right questions and exploring new possibilities. So, what would you say was the core purpose driving iTracks in 2025?
Yeah, thanks for the question piece. Really the foundation of everything we do at iTracks is still rooted in our founding values. And those founding values include to always serve the client, to innovate and optimize at every turn, and to most importantly, always assume first that it can be done. In order to execute on those principles, first we must listen to our clients and our partners that use our software and interact with our client success team every day to help their research projects be successful. To ensure that our focus is really on what is most important and what drives the most value for them and their research stakeholders. And really, what we've heard time and time again throughout 2025 is that clients want an easy, frictionless experience for themselves and the people that they've invited to be part of the research, whether that's part of their research audience, investors, those that might be observing from the client back room. So, really, our team and most importantly, including our software development team and our client success team led by Candace, looked at our service models and our product delivery. And, I'm really thrilled to say that, our core purpose to deliver on those world-class research experiences in 2025 was a huge success.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Leon. I think having serving the clients first as iTrack's core value really just shows iTrack's prioritization of clients' experience. Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring it right to Candace on team achievements and internal impact. So, Candace, like Leon mentioned, you work closely with our clients and, of course, the team members. So, what achievements or milestones stood out for you in 2025, whether it's from the projects delivered, features launched, or just the way the team showed up? What milestones stood out for you in 2025?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So we did have quite a few projects delivered. About 25,000 activities were run in our software last year. So that's quite a few projects and activities that ran. One of the things that stands out for me the most, though, is what we call our user success metric. So, this is a metric that we decided to really focus on early in 2025. And we came together as our team, the operations and client success teams, and the client services teams, and making sure that we're working really closely with the software team to make sure that we were able to achieve a goal where as many users as possible are accessing our software for their research projects without any tech issues or anything like that. So, huge standout. We ended the year with an average of almost 90% of the people invited to our studies joining with no reported tech issues. Of the reported issues, the most common issues were able to be resolved by our concierge team about 75 to 78% of the time. So depending on what category we're looking at. And some of those categories of being able to resolve were actually even higher. So that shows our troubleshooting skills at that concierge and help desk level. As I mentioned, it was a metric that was really important to us. And so we were able, and this is one of the reasons why I find it so impactful, is that we were able to really collaborate with our operations teams, committing themselves to tracking it and doing some of the admin work to make sure that that information got to our software team, taking down some silos between our operations and our software team to make sure that we were able to achieve what we needed to, and we improved on it. That's all we did, and it was so good. And I want to add that 2025 was also a year where we really worked on rolling out some great features based on client feedback and meeting these metrics, while adding software features can sometimes be tricky. And despite the rollout of these new features, we were still getting these metrics. So really good overall.
Thank you so much, Candace. From your remark, I hear collaboration, I hear impact, and importantly, I hear innovation because receiving feedback from the clients and integrating it back into your software is you innovating to make your product or solution better. So it's safe to say it was really a successful year for iTracks in 2025. I have a quick follow-up question, Candace, which I think you have touched on briefly, but I'm just going to ask regardless in case if you have any additional points to give. Was there a specific moment in 2025 that really captured the spirit of iTracks? You've mentioned collaboration, but is there a
Mhm.
specific moment, a story, an illustration, any moment you can share with us really that captured the spirit of iTracks?
So, as I had mentioned just a minute ago, is that our software team was able to develop a few new features in the last year, and one of them was our dial tester product. So it was being rolled out to new clients who might have never done research before. The one standout one that I can think of, a project that I can think of, is where we had that dial tester being used. So our software team was involved with helping us as the operations team really get things working for the client, um, and making sure that everything was on working properly from a software perspective. And then we also had our client success team collaborating with the client to make sure that they're getting what they want. And there was some struggle. There was, I think, we'll all agree that 2025 had challenges all around for a
Yeah,
lot of us and our
yeah.
clients. And so I think this really stood out because there was these challenges of learning the new software, using a moderator that wasn't necessarily like a true to form research moderator. And we were able to collaborate with them from a technological standpoint as well as a service standpoint to really get them over that end line and get them the data that they needed for their project. So in the end, they were extremely happy, but we were able to kind of overcome the challenges and really use our smarts and our collaboration to really kind of get them what they needed in the end.
Team of superheroes. Thank you so much, Candace. And still in the threshold of impact, I'm going to bring it to Leon. In terms of client impact, partnerships, and feedback, Leon, iTracks worked with diverse range of clients and industries in 2025. So could you highlight some of the organizations or sectors that we've partnered with in 2025 and just tell us what you've enjoyed most about working with them?
Yeah, peace, and I'll call back to one of your opening remarks. We're very blessed to work with, Fortune 500 companies from around the world, but also recognize and really appreciate the opportunity to work with, small boutique shops and even some independent market research that might be a one-person business, and we're very proud to give, all clients, big and small, the same great level of experience and quality outcomes. But yeah, when thinking about some of the organizations that maybe stood out this year is, we're fortunate to work with JD Power on a study in the insurance space. We worked with Meta on a number of different projects. We were successful in executing a project on behalf of TikTok. And Candace had mentioned the dial tester, but another great feature that continues to evolve and grow was our mobile shop alongs, and had the opportunity to help execute some studies with Home Depot. So those are some of the big brands that maybe some of our audience would be maybe a little bit more familiar with in their day to day. But it's interesting, when I mentioned sort of TikTok and even Procter and Gamble's another client that we worked with is, I think the CPG sector remains really interesting. 2025 was a really interesting year for consumer packaged goods, and it's because it's so massive and really foundational to so many people's everyday life, right? Whether it's food and beverage or personal care or household items, even over the counter health items. A lot of these are fast moving products, quick turn, lots of innovation, and they're really sort of a cornerstone of a big part of, day-to-day commerce in the world. So, these demands are driven by, our basic human needs, and the industry trends, even though they are somewhat up and down, they tend to still be quite resilient, even when the economy is maybe a little bit more unpredictable than it has been in the last few years. So, we saw a lot of structural shifts throughout these studies, driven by consumer behavior changes and the desire to drive more traffic back to brick and mortar, which I think is really interesting. But I'd mentioned mobile shop alongs. I think that's really one of the ones that we're really proud of, and really tends to set us apart from some of the other providers in our space. Is and our clients continue to embrace that methodology, and we saw some great examples of that research and how that design can produce concrete, actionable insights. One of those studies, in fact, was executed by a firm called Ethnifacts, which is led by their founder, Mike LaCusta. They conducted a study across 27 different wine and spirit retail locations throughout the U.S. So you can imagine how complex that is, and we helped them with the recruit and making sure all of those participants were able to engage in the study appropriately within the mobile experience. Make sure those retailers are set up for us to join them in their stores, and Mike produced some really great insights for the Wine Council of America, who sponsored that study. And they learned a ton, particularly about the new younger wine shopper and what they're looking for both in product and packaging, but also their shopping experience when they're in those stores, to make them feel more comfortable as they sort of venture out on their wine buying journey and to get educated on different products. So I think that's one of the things that was really rewarding, is just to see our clients be so successful and deliver great value back to their end clients so that they can make some of those strategic decisions.
Thank you so much, Leon. That's a terrific list of organizations that you've worked with. Again, because I am certain that we might have some people who are listening, who really don't know what solutions that iTracks solves or brings to the table, right? I'm going to ask you a question around how our clients use our technology or used the iTracks technology in 2025. So, what kind of challenges did these clients bring to us? Right? What kind of challenges did the clients bring to iTracks, and how exactly did iTracks software or technology help solve them?
Yeah, that's a really great question. As the world grows, I think in some ways it gets smaller every day. We're so connected by these different digital and virtual tools, and it brings to mind another study that we did with a client in the third quarter last year, where they were looking to expand in 2026 into a number of different markets that would be somewhat non-traditional for them, and a number of them were in countries that language was not the first language of choice, right? So we're talking about countries like Peru, Chile, Argentina, and Mexico, really sort of Latin and throughout Latin America. And, if I think about that example, we see a number of different challenges, not just language. There's also time zone considerations. I think importantly, cultural considerations, all of it adds to the complexity of things and makes traditional qualitative work perhaps harder to scale. And candidly, like, I think it's a little scary sometimes. So, the new technology that we have been developing and working on helps us to communicate via the participants' preferred method, perhaps text or SMS. It allows our clients to sort of meet the participants prior to them joining the study, which I think they find a ton of value in. Um, Recruiting, incentivization, it's becoming more expensive, and so having that peace of mind sort of in a meet the person way prior to accepting them into the study is really powerful, and really can add a lot of peace of mind, if you will, to the study. So we knew those things would have a major impact on client satisfaction with recruit quality, and what we didn't anticipate was the immense impact it would have on show rates, right? We're really proud to say that for the studies that we recruited and supported this year, we had a 92% show rate, which is almost unheard of in qualitative research, especially digitally and online. To have that rate of consistency is really powerful. And, Candace had mentioned our connection rates, and, for our studies, 94% client satisfaction with respondent quality is really powerful. So, you're getting the people to show up on time. They are the right people that you want to speak with. And then, as Candace said, that reliability of the connection, it makes for a really exceptional and world-class client experience on the back end, so that they can trust that the actionable insights that they're getting are ones that they can, put their name behind and stand proudly with.
All right. Thank you so much, Leon. Still on the topic of client feedback, I'm going to ask my very next question on the influence of clients' feedback on the product and support. So I would allow Leon share on the product, and then we'll have Candace share on support. So for the feedback that clients have shared, from language to every other feature feedback, how has it really shaped the improvements that iTracks has made to its products and support approach from 2025? So, in terms of support, what kind of supports are available? I know for one that on the website there's a live chat segment. What other form of support are there available for clients or people who really just want to learn more about our software? And then for the products, how exactly has this feedback really shaped the improvement of the technology? Ladies first, so we'll have Candace go first, and then we'll bring it back to Leon.
Yeah, so we really have become extremely committed, and our software team plays a big role in this, to making sure our clients' feedback is integrated into whatever we build and getting them involved really early on in the process. So I think I have done more client interviews on proposed features and tools and things like that than I ever have before with iTracks this year. And I think the results are telling. We're building products that people are using, that they're loving, and that they're getting a lot of value to their research studies. So that's just something that I want to point out there. We have some very exciting features coming out next year that I am extremely ecstatic about. Like I'm really looking forward to them, because it's gonna add so much value to our clients and their efficiency and setup, as well as just getting the data that they need and getting it fast. So I can tell you that that we are very involved with our clients. We also have some great partnerships. We have some clients that that we truly partner with. They're not just coming to us using the software and leaving. They're really meeting with us consistently, meeting with me, meeting with the sales team, and giving their feedback, and the software team's taking that feedback very seriously. In terms of support, we support clients on so many different levels. We have a great team behind the technology. So we have the ability for clients to, and participants and observers, so all levels of users, not just the people that are paying for the product, are able to reach out to our help team via email, WhatsApp, phone, as well as the live chat. As you mentioned, we have that available. And we have multiple channels because we're really trying to meet the users where they're at. That's something that's extremely important to me. And not only that, I want to point out that that team really reaches out with a lot of care in how their projects are, how our clients' projects are executed. So we really we reach out and we solve problems, but we do it from a place of like deep empathy to make sure that people feel like, you know, they want to be in that research project. And our clients know, and they've said, we've had clients say like, I've never worked with a technology service provider with a team that cares so much about my project. And so I always like to point that out as well. Just there is a lot of empathy as well as troubleshooting with that team. And we try to reach people where they're at to get a hold of us to get help.
That's super amazing. Thank you so much, Candace. And then to Leon.
Yeah, I think if I could maybe just sort of build off of some of Candace's comments, I mean, Candace, and I've been at this for a few years now, but if you really look maybe at the last 3 or 4 years, you see that the online qual space has moved from that venue enabled conferencing and manual analysis to more of an integrated AI assisted approach, where people are looking for AI enabled products to maybe help with some qualitative workflows, to maybe take some of the manual aspects out of data collection and the rapid synthesis and analysis of that data. So, um, you know, when we look at some of even the studies like I referenced, the mobile shop belongs, and some of those in the moment methods like your diaries and mobile ethnographies, they've gone from being sort of niche studies to really quite mainstream. And software platforms like itracks Real Time, like itracks Board, make it really easy for participants to upload structured video tasks from their mobile devices, which is quite powerful. And one of the areas that we believe has been largely overlooked, and Candace was pretty excited. You could see from her body language talking about what's set to launch is a product that we have been working on side by side, desk side, with a few of our clients on the project management side of things. And that's why we've stood up this internal team to take a really deep dive into the project manager experience to see, what we could do to help smooth out or reduce, or in some cases remove, project friction points, right? Long email threads with respondents and clients, and these highly complex and quite frankly sometimes convoluted recruit grids, with hundreds of cells and many different quota management, and these different things that are quite common in qualitative research projects, right? We're looking to try and smooth that out, while still recognizing that the stakes are incredibly high, and that we've got to deliver the right outcome. So, Candace mentioned client feedback. You've touched on client feedback, and I'm glad you did. As part of this new development, this involvement of our client stakeholders to help with product development, feature enablement, where things should sit in the workflows. We want to really take the thoughts of our thoughtful research partners and put them into practice, right? Nobody knows better about how to make their experience better than the client themselves. And so, they've really lent us a key hand in the development and deployment of this new product. So, all in the name of efficiency and trying to make people's lives just a little bit easier every day.
Thank you so much, Leon. Um, During the intro, I had mentioned that we're really bringing the audience into the story of iTrack's journey. So I'm going to take a quick drift from the client part to the team part. So, on the basis of culture and team strength, and this question is to Candace really. So, iTracks has a unique culture grounded in teamwork and innovation. You had mentioned it, resilience, collaboration, and that has fruit a lot into the impact that iTracks created in 2025. So my question really is, what helped keep the team motivated and connected throughout the year? Because there was obviously a lot of challenges, roadblocks, bottlenecks, and not all the good side of it. So what kept the team motivated really?
Yeah. So our kind of North Star beacon is always client satisfaction. You already touched on teamwork and innovation, and that's just really the core of what we do. As Leon had mentioned, it's one of our core values, extremely important to us. We were very happy to have a great client satisfaction rate last year. It was 94% for our Zendesk. That's the ticket system we use. So our user experience rates are really, really high. And I would say that I think our team just really likes a challenge. Um, so, um, so like I mentioned, for 2025, there was like a lot of challenges overall for society as a whole. Our clients were feeling impacts, and I think that our client success teams, our client services teams, our help desk, our concierge, all kind of took on the attitude of we're going to overcome these challenges, and we're going to overcome it with like a lot of humanness and empathy, and making sure that that we are helping our clients and getting our satisfaction rates. And yeah, 2025 is just a hard year for a lot of people, and I'm happy we got to display who we were and how much we were there to support and care despite anything going on. And I think that was a motivation for the team, right? To really just kind of be a human behind the technology in some ways.
94% is no small feat. Great job to the
No,
team.
it is not. And this is the best we've had. I'm going to say that. Usually I'm really driving those guys to work on wording and messaging, like, yeah, like, and making sure that we are, displaying, you know, um, you know, good quality responses that are clear and concise. And yeah, it was a great year. We have a great team, and they're really stepping up.
Super. A round of applause for the team. Really great job. So to the vision for the future, I know Candace, you've mentioned how super excited, Leon as well, you are for the new features, new products, the things that we should look out for. So at this point, do you want to let the cat out of the bag, looking forward or looking towards 2026? What excites you about where iTracks is headed, really? What's the level of growth you think iTracks is going to experience? Would allow Leon go first and then we'll bring it back to Candace.
Yeah, thanks for the question, piece. I think the thing that really excites me most about the future of true end-to-end market research workflows is that the market is demanding the disconnect between suppliers and vendors and participants be bridged without compromising on research ethics, security principles, and that is our focus, right? We've seen the payoff over the last few months, and it tells me that we are absolutely on the right track to deliver on our commitments to quality and value at speed. That rapid evolution of that project management tool and product that Candace and I have been talking about is really allowing us to deepen participant quality controls to ensure that clients are speaking to exactly the audience they need to in order to make those timely strategic decisions based on the actionable insights. So, I think that's the one thing that really sort of points me to a real bright future in the qualitative space in 2026.
Thank you so much, Leon. And Candace?
I would say I'm really excited about the project management tool, as well as there's a couple other things that are like yet to be named. So I'm not going to say too much there, but there is one product that I'm very excited to see come to fruition. But my first line of sight right now is that project management tool, and kind of giving our clients a lot of an efficiency in project setup and that type of thing, and then allowing different user types to come in. So a lot of times research projects, the people using our tools might not always be the same people that are first touching the participants, I guess, and so we actually are going to be building out a new user type, a recruiter user type that lets our clients kind of get their recruiters in earlier to the projects and really more integrated to the software, and making that a much easier experience for them. So we're very excited about that. I think that'll open up a lot of things for current clients as well as bringing on maybe some new clients. Very exciting.
Okay. Okay. I guess we will be looking forward to the information about all the in-depth things. And in closing, if you both could share one message of gratitude or encouragement, I mean, it's not Thanksgiving, but we don't need a specific day for this, right? So if you could share one message of gratitude or encouragement to your clients, to your partners, and the entire iTracks team, what would it be? Ladies first. So let's have Candace and then we'll have Leah.
Yeah, so I'm extremely grateful for my clients, of course. Like I had mentioned before, they truly are my partners. No matter how many or how small projects or how few projects they have, I do feel that I have a good partnership with a lot of my clients, and then my team as well has partnerships like that with their clients. So I always have to give a shout out to my team. That client success team is great at collaborating with their clients, getting the information that they need to the software team, as well as just being really strategic on their projects and getting them the details they need. Our help desk is fantastic. Same with our concierge team. So I have to shout out and be really grateful for that team for helping me and helping our clients.
All right. Thank you, Candace. Let's have Leah.
Yeah, I mean, Peace. I'm really blessed and fortunate every day to be able to work with an industry leader like Candace. You know, it's not lost on me how important her role is and the great job that Candace and her team do. But I think overall, if I could share maybe just one message of gratitude or encouragement, it really would just be this, and that's thank you. You know, thank you for every project, every conversation, every opportunity to collaborate. It really reminds me how fortunate we are to work with clients, suppliers, vendors, partners, and a team who genuinely care about doing incredible work. Our progress is only possible because of that ecosystem of clients and partners, suppliers, and like Candace said, fantastic staff. So the trust that everybody shares with us, it fuels our commitment to innovate, and the feedback that we receive, it really does make us better, and our belief in ourselves and our clients' belief in us really push iTracks to be the best version of ourselves that we can, and helps us to continue to look to raise the bar. And you know, I'm incredibly excited for what's ahead, and I'm grateful every day that we really get to build these things together, and maybe that's the most important thing.
Thank you so much, Leon. And thank you to Candace and to you, Leon, as well, for sharing these reflections. What really stands out from today's conversation is that in the year 2025, iTracks wasn't just delivering technology or the software, it was helping teams, clients ask better questions, uncover deeper insights, and turn conversations into decisions that really mattered, from collaboration to innovation to ensuring impact. So, client support, product optimization, and every other thing that I can mention. So all clients, partners, and the entire iTracks team, thank you for the trust, the collaboration, and the ambition that really shaped such a meaningful year. And if you'd like to stay connected, whether it's keeping up with new features, the features that is making Leon and Candice super excited, learning more about how iTrack supports qualitative research, or simply starting the conversation, you can follow iTracks across all social channels. Username is iTracks, or visit our website to chat live with the team. So here is to building insights and making 2025 a more impactful year. Thank you so much.